It may seem a bit cheesy now, and not as good, but back in the day, this was the shiz. Personally, my favourite bit was the voiceovers for the characters in Micro Machines. It was brilliant. Now, I've recently reviewed Mini Desktop Racing for the Wii, which was a perfect failure of a game, and it reminded me of Micro Machines, because of the miniature cars driving on these tracks that were based around everyday things. Micro Machines came up with some bloody intense tracks. There was the breakfast table track, the snooker table track, the garden track, the school classroom, and so on. But you would use things in the track to your advantage. For example, a ramp was a fork in the breakfast table track. The music was naff at the end of the day, and pretty poor looking back on it, but hey, I was a kid when I got this game. Nothing matters back then. Graphics were reasonable back when released. It's all a bit pixelated, but it's a cartoony game, so there isn't much problem with that. The track designs, at times, could be quite difficult, and I found it hard to navigate around them without bumping into something or falling off at a tight corner. And at times, it let the game down and made me a little frustrated, but you can look behind that and see an actual okay game here. The controls are fairly simple and straightforward, but going back and playing this game using an analog controller for the PS2 or the PS3, it can be quite tempting to try and turn with the analog sticks. And that kind of delays you at the start of a race when you suddenly realise that you're meant to be using the D-pad, because it's a game for the PS1. I never liked this game as much as I do now, which I find quite odd. I can remember me playing this for a little while, and then not playing it for like a whole 2 years, and then coming back to it again. Maybe it didn't have enough to keep me entertained for long enough. I am a big lover of racing games, but to me, the racing games I like the most are when the characters from other games are playable. Take for example, Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, or Sonic and Sega All-Stars. This game had no reference to anything else, and the characters they came up with were awful. The characters' names were Spider, Cherry, Jethro, Chien, and Bonnie, and there were some others but I can't remember. So, what kid is going to be able to know these names? This game was more for the laughs than it was the actual gameplay. If you're looking for a weekend of fun with some old-style gameplay, then this could be right up your street. I personally love the whole crazy-ass, bold-in-your-face colours approach, and the tracks were unique, and it had decent controls, something where Mini Desktop Racing went wrong. But is it a game where I would sit and say, oh, I want to play Micro Machines now? No, it's not. But still, because it's my childhood in the game, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5.